to the street, bro, I will beat your motherfucking ass,
Rock Lee, the genius of hard work versus Vinsmoke Sanji, the future wings of the Pirate King. A battle overflowing with narrative overlap and parallels, as both Sanji and Lee's backstories start with them being deemed as weak rejects by their peers and families. But even despite this, they would ultimately go on to become the third strongest / recognizable of their respective groups. So, who wins? Well, by going over both characters' respective stats like AP / durability, hacks, and speed, I can give you an answer to that exact question. So, without further ado, let's begin scaling and get to the truth of the matter. To begin the scaling, we'll first have to talk about attack potency, starting with Lee. And since we're beginning with Lee, the first thing I'd like to do is clear up the misconception that in Boruto, Lee has mastered all 8 gates and surpassed Guy, so he'd just upscale from all Gate of Death Guy's stats. However, this is literally never stated anywhere and only ever implied by Meta Lee, which is far from proof of Lee having the ability to use the 7th and 8th gate, as his son is an unreliable source on the matter and has never witnessed the use of the Gate of Shock or even heard about the Gate of Death. On top of the fact that Metal in this instance is merely referring to his father's mastery of the 8 gates technique as a whole, and not the fact that Lee's mastered the 7th and 8th gate. So as far as I'm concerned, Lee mastering all 8 gates and surpassing Guy is just headcanon that the majority of people accept and assume, despite there being next to zero evidence for this argument, which works out perfectly since Lee's best feat takes place while he's using the Gate of Joy, when him and a group of 6 other 8 gates users partially destroy a meteorite that was calced to yield a kinetic energy equal to 3 gigatons of TNT. So splitting the calculation 6 ways as a lowball, this would mean each gate's user contributed 500 megatons of TNT worth of kinetic energy to the feat, which would give 6th Gate Lee large mountain level attack potency that would scale to his durability via Newton's third law. With Lee's AP / durability out of the way though, it's time to talk about Sanji, who in terms of raw power once awakened scales over and is able to beat the dog shit out of Queen. The same Queen who is one of the Beast Pirates all-stars that are all said to be around the same strength, with said strength upscaling from Doflamingo via the fact that Kaido sends Jack to fight Luffy after hearing of Dofi's defeat, as well as the fact that Dofi literally just refers to them as monsters after being defeated, which pretty much directly implies that the All-Stars are stronger than himself, with Doflamingo scaling to Gear 4 Luffy's King Kong gun that was calculated to be able to output 145 gigatons of TNT worth of kinetic energy, giving Gear 4 Luffy, Dofi, and via scaling awakened Sanji large island level attack potency, as well as durability via Newton's third law. But with the attack potency and durability wrapped up, we can now move into talking about hacks, continuing with Sanji, who is a user of both observation and armament haki. With armament haki, Sanji can convert his own spiritual energy to create in essence an invisible piece of armor around himself, providing incredible offensive and defensive capabilities. And with observation haki, Sanji gains a sixth sense that allows him to detect the strength, presence, and emotions of others, granting him limited precognitive abilities that are comparable to advanced observation haki's future sight. Aside from his use of haki though, thanks to his cybernetics implanted to him at birth, Sanji also has superhuman regenerative capabilities, which allows him to almost immediately heal from something as debilitating as broken bones. But with Sanji's abilities covered, it's time to move on to Lee's, and to cut straight to the chase, Lee has 0 hacks and his straight hands, since he can't use ninjutsu or genjutsu, and even his use of the 8 gates isn't exactly your standard complicated Naruto ability, as it's essentially the equivalent to the Kaioken and just allows the user to amp their physical abilities by removing the natural limiters of their chakra. Now that both characters' AP, durability, and hacks have been pinned down though, the last thing we need to discuss is speed, and we'll be picking up where we left off with Lee, who even while in the 5th gate was able to move and throw kicks at the same speed as Darui's laser circus, which is stated by Data Book 3 to move at the speed of light, which would give 6th gate Lee faster than light combat speed. As for Sanji's speed though, this is also quite easy to scale, since upon awakening he was able to blitz Queen, whose reaction speed has been calculated at 6.5 times faster than light, and even before awakening he was easily weaving these same beams, which was also calculated to be 5 times faster than light, giving Sanji FTL plus combat speed. But with both characters now being skilled, we can go ahead and get into this matchup's results, and if you've been paying attention the whole time, you'd understand why this isn't close, as not only is Sanji 300 times stronger than Lee, but he's over 6 times times faster than him as well. And since Lee has 0 hacks that play a role in this matchup, a fight between him and Sanji would simply end in a blitz in one shot. Therefore, the truth of the matter is, Sanji versus Lee is not even close. Before the video ends though, I'd like to quickly ask that you like and subscribe, as it helps the video's performance in the algorithm and gives me the incentive to keep making these Naruto versus One Piece themed videos. With that being said though, you already know I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are, and until next time.